Good evening. I'd like to start by acknowledging that today we are on the traditional territory of the Stolo people. My name is Henry Braun. I'm the mayor of the city of Abbotsford, and we're coming to you late tonight with an urgent plea. If there is anyone still in Sumas Prairie and listening or watching this press conference, you need to leave immediately. If you can't leave, please call 911 for support. Conditions within the Sumas Prairie within the last few hours have continued to escalate and could potentially pose a significant risk to life. The Emergency Operations Center anticipates that the Barrowtown pump station will be able to be pumped out but continue to be filled by the Nooksack River. The engineering team is doing everything they can to protect the Barrowtown pump station at this time, and we have seen some slowing of the rising water level to the pump station. However, if there is an overflow into the pump station, that water level is now about a meter below. This situation will become critical very quickly. We are taking this incredibly seriously and are ensuring all measures are in place. The situation is changing by the minute, and that is why we are taking all steps necessary at this time. Residents need to place priority on life safety and not ignore the current evacuation orders that are in place and have been since this morning, and to leave the area immediately. Residents that can't evacuate safely are requested again to call 911 and report their location immediately. So I will now turn it over to Chief Lee and Chief Sear, and then we'll answer any questions that you have at the end.
Good evening, everybody. Just wanted to brief you up on the plan at the Barrowtown lift station. So currently, Abbotsford Fire and Rescue Service is in unified command with the City of Chilliwack at the site. They're working with the Chilliwack Public Works Department, several contractors, and the general plan is to construct or improve a sandbag wall around the Barrowtown pump station to buy time for that water to accumulate and then be pumped out. We're also looking at the possibility of airlifting some additional pumps in tonight, and if that's not possible, we'll look at doing that again tomorrow. The rescue assets we have staged on both the far east side of the incident and the far west side of the incident remain in place from today, and in fact, we're looking at adding swiftwater rescue type resources to both sides overnight. Probably just logistically, it's easier to add assets to the west side, and they're being staged so that they're ready to go in case the situation gets worse. For tomorrow, because we can't fly hoist and longline machines or helicopters at night, we're looking at adding additional rescue assets. We used them throughout the day today, and due to the seriousness of the situation in the area east of the Sumas River, we're looking at bringing on additional helicopters to augment that rescue capability. The type of that swiftwater rescue work and stillwater rescue work is incredibly hazardous for responders, and especially when they're not only in the water, but it's very dangerous for the pilots who run the machines. And so if you can get out safely tonight, we'd ask that you do so, and you'd be directed out on the east side by Chilliwack RCMP, and they direct you to the reception center accordingly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Lee. We put this alert out today. This is very critical. If we lose that pump station, as you heard, what a critical piece of infrastructure that is. We still have many people that we need to evacuate from that area. We've reached out to provincial, federal resources to help support us. We have search and rescue resources coming in from across the Lower Mainland to help us. This is primarily a water rescue. We're monitoring it. Like we said, it is changing literally by the minute. We have engineers that we're assessing the pumps all the time. As we said, we have a lot of room still at the Tradex to house people who need that housing. But and our e-com center 911 is receiving multiple calls, and we're getting to all the people as fast as we can to support them and support their families. So again, we're asking you. This order's been out for a while, but now we're really stressing to you how critical it is that we get you out of this area, because if we lose one of those pumps, or if we lose the pumps at that station, then we will see that water start to rise quicker, and it is going to take us a long time to get those resourced. So I will turn it back to Mayor Braun, and we can take your questions.
Thank you, and I may have stumbled over one line earlier. Our engineering department is telling us that if those pumps fail, or even one fails, there's 4 of them, there's going to be more water coming into Sumas Prairie than those pumps are capable of pumping. That's why the water continues, even at 4 pumps running full bore, the water has continued to rise. If those pumps go down, and that's an if, we don't know that, but if they do, that lake is going to fill up. There's nowhere for that water to go. So people will be incredibly surprised how quickly the situation will develop. So the message here is tonight, if you are still on Sumas Prairie, you need to leave, to get out of the area. I know it's hard for farmers to leave their livestock, but people's lives are more important to me right now than livestock and chickens. And we will deal with the rest come morning to see what has transpired. But we felt we needed to alert our public on Sumas Prairie that this is imminent. So anyways, questions?
Are the pumps, are they in a problem where they're just working overtime, or is it the fact that the pump house is actually getting inundated with water?
No, the pump house hasn't been inundated yet, but the water level is at a level I have never seen. The pumps are going full tilt, they're full speed actually. We had an issue, and we mentioned that earlier this afternoon, with an electrical problem with one of the pumps, but that was resolved very quickly with some electricians that we flew in. That could happen again. If we lose even one pump, that water is going to increase. But if the water level rises to the point where it's going to enter the pump house, we have to actually shut those pumps off, because if we don't, we're going to burn out those pumps. Having said that, if those pumps go down for any amount of time, that water is going to be standing in what was 2/3 of Sumas Prairie was once a lake. That lake will return. But anyways, that is not my issue right now. My issue right now is to let our residents get out of Sumas Prairie. We've told people this morning, and I get the farmer's heart. I do get that. But right now, life is more important. Nothing is more important than saving a life. Let me say it that way. So.
If things do get worse and the pump does fail, are there rescue efforts already being put in place for tomorrow or the next couple of days to prepare for this?
I have spoken with the Prime Minister. I've spoken with Minister Farnworth, Minister Fleming. They have assured me, all 3 of them, that whatever resources the city of Abbotsford needs, the federal government and our province will aid in providing whatever we need. We don't exactly know what we need. Chief Lee has talked about helicopters, and other SARs are bringing in. I think there's 4 boats, 2 are en route, 2 more are coming. But we need some pumps. Bigger pumps. Minister Farnworth, he told me that he thought that there was pumps coming from, some large pumps coming from Surrey. I said that was news to me, but I said we have a lot of staff. I don't pretend to know everything. I have a high-level overview of what's going on in our city. I don't get involved in the operations, but I said I will check with my staff, and I haven't done that yet, actually.
Do you have a number of people that may be still residing at their homes? Do you have a figure?
We have an estimate of roughly 200 properties, maybe 300 people, maybe a little more.
Yes, sir.
Yes, but that is a best guess.
That's a very considerable amount of people.
Yes.
Evacuations are currently underway, so we're in the process. They will go through the night, and they will continue into the morning. And we're continuing to bring in more and more resources so we can get everyone from their homes into a safe place. So they will be going throughout the night. And as the mayor said, and Chief Lee, we're bringing in all resources, that we can to help support. But it is, like we said, primarily a water rescue. So that is certainly making this more challenging.
And is that an issue in itself? If all of them came up right now and said we want out, if you have the ability to get 200-300 people out of there?
Yeah, no, we have to prioritize. We certainly can't go and rescue 300 people just at once, but we are prioritizing. We are receiving the calls. We're keeping track of everybody, and we're working through it. There's going to be, like I said, please continue to monitor our social media, both the city and the Abbotsford Police Department, as well as if we do lose any of those pumps. We are prepared to put out through the province an emergency broadcast. We'll go through text messages on the cell phones for both Abbotsford and for parts of Chilliwack. So those are all in place. So like I said, our priority is working very hard to get people from the area, but also to maintain those pumps, as Mayor Braun said. That is critical.
For those pumps, when they're operating at maximum efficiency, how much water are they moving per cubic feet? Is that something you guys know aware of?
Yes, I have a number for cubic meters per second, but I'm not sure that's going to mean much to 8 cubic meters, 8 cubic meters per second. I don't know how, I understand feet are imperial, so I know how big a cubic meter of water is, but
You mentioned about the livestock and about farmers not wanting to leave them. Is that what you guys are hearing about why people aren't leaving, is because of livestock? Is that a big reason?
yes, I have been out on the prairie and I have my own cattle. I understand how close people are to, well, not just cattle, livestock, which includes poultry, turkeys, the egg industry. 50% of everything that British Columbia consumes for dairy, eggs, and poultry comes from Abbotsford. I mean, this is huge for Abbotsford. And they want to stay behind and protect what they have spent their whole life building. I get that. But nothing is worth your life. I'm speaking personally now. So I just implore anyone who is listening to this to please heed the evacuation order and leave tonight. Tomorrow morning may be too late. I can't predict the future, but we for sure have to plan for the worst. And right now, that's what we're doing.
In a worst case scenario where that pump house is inundated and all 4 pumps go down, how deep could that water get in parts of the Sumas Prairie?
I think the lake, from historical readings that I've had, I'd have to go and check. It probably won't be more than 10 feet deep. It was not a deep lake, but 10 feet of water over 2/3 of that prairie is a lot of acreage. I should know how many acres there are out there, or hectares, but I don't have that figure. But for those of you who have seen Sumas Prairie, it is a large tract of land. Anyone else? We're good? Well, thank you for coming out. I know it's late. I didn't expect to be here again this evening, but this is very important, so we thank you for joining us, and we'll continue to provide updates as they come in. So monitor our website and our social media channels, and we will try to get the information, not try, we will get the information out as quickly as we have it. There's been chatter about the pumps not actually working. On social media, you can't believe everything you read, so please don't. Thank you.
Thank you.